Support for 100 Watts and a Wire is brought to you by 100wattsandawire.com. To subscribe to the show, simply click the RSS feed or subscribe wherever you get your podcast. When you visit, apply for your free 100 Watts ID and learn how you can become a sustaining member. Click the donate page and pick the option that works best for you. We've got a traveling toolkit, 100 Watts and a Wire gear, and activity days with prizes. That's 100wattsandawire.com.
And now, from Grid Square Echo Mike 48, this is 100 Watts and a Wire.
Well, hello there from Missouri. I should probably explain where I am. North of St. Louis and even south of us, southeast, high winds, 50 to 60 miles an hour last night, pretty heavy now still. And I woke up out of curiosity just to see what the antennas are doing, and 160, of course, with those long, beautiful legs, has a problem with SWR. I'm kicking leaves away from my door because a ton of them just blew in here, and it's like leaf blower stuff right here. So I need to go out and assess the damage, and I have a really small little walkie-talkie on me that my girls have because I'm going into the woods. Speaking of my girls, some toys have I'm 5 steps out my door. I mean, it's just picking up things that have blown over. Yeah, pretty nutty. And pretty windy. I don't know. This recording's probably going to be annoying, and I only apologize for the simple fact that it's going to. Good grief! There's a leaf pile already at my door. I'm just kicking leaves, guys. It's just blown right up into my. Trying to find where the wind's headed. It's pushing out to the north. It seems. You can hear it, but it's real life, man. That's kind of what's going on. Christmas decorations are up, and this is the kind of thing where dead limbs come down, and it's kind of nature's way of giving itself a haircut. In my case, it's all right. That's enough of that. But in my case, oh Lord, I can see my antenna, my 2-meter 440 on a mast. It looks crooked. It's still up there waving around, but that doesn't look good. I'm gonna have to do something with that. But what happened was I turned on the the 2-meter. Oh man, yeah, something's bent up at the top of my 2-meter 440. I'm gonna have to bring that down. Oh, it's swaying. Uh-oh, I see. Ay. And this is the part of doing business out here. It is swaying like I have broken a guy wire or something. It is just going back and forth. Not good. We're going to see if we can do at least a repair to stabilize this thing. Holy. Okay, I see what's going on. Yeah, this is you're just getting the real recording here. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to figure out things on the fly here. I put on HF. Yeah, the wind had come through. It's still up there. It's kind of swaying quite a bit. I've got it guided 3 points. And when you know the point that's facing the west is what I need, and it's not there. Hear that? Holy cow. Yeah, so I'm going to be real. Oh, I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I like it, guys. There's no fixing that's going to happen here today. It's just too windy. And I suspect we're going to have a lot of down limbs. The temperature's in the 40s. My antennas are up there, man, but they're swinging. And when I say my antennas are up there, everything but 160 seemed to test okay. When I tested 160 from inside the shack, it was like a 4-to-1 SWR. So that's telling me at least there's a leg down, because something's not right. Yeah, and there's a tree down. Yeah, this is one of these walk and talks where, for one, I'm watching above my head for the Widowmakers. But I just want to peek out here right now. It is safe. I am being safe. Yeah, I can tell. Let's go to the 160. We're about 150 feet away from my shack where I've got this thing in the woods, and I can tell because I've got window sashes, these window weights, hold my lines. And yeah, okay, it's the north side. There's a problem on the north side. Oh man, this one here's my window weights. You'll hear them. They're blowing around. This end's stuck in there we go. That one's at least free. But I think it's the other side facing the north. These kind of run north to south. They're slightly off according to a compass. It would be slightly off, but I took the path of least resistance in the woods, and I'm heading out toward the north, and because I can see this leg out here, something just doesn't look right. I mean, maybe I don't know why I would test for a 4-to-1 SWR if these lines are still up there, and they're both still up. It's just kind of weird. Could it be that line just touching that tree like that? Maybe. I've always heard that if your wire's touching, a tree, it's going to have an effect on your SWR. And I'm like, well, that's my whole world, dude. And sometimes I'm going to be touching. But looking at this, my line now, I don't know, man. I'm trying to figure this out here. Their lines are still up. And that wind's no joke. They're saying about 40-mile-an-hour winds at the moment. And again, don't be foolish and play around. Like, this is not a scenario where you're going to be out just fixing your antenna. It's not conducive to that. And when you're in the woods or the forest, whatever you want to call it, every step I'm taking, I'm looking up. I'm looking for dead limbs, and I'm listening for any crackling that may be. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to take this. This is a dead tree. It's not very tall. It's about 15 feet tall, and it's just kind of in the way of my line. I do kind of want to fix this right now. This is I don't have anything to cut it with, but there is a bit of an issue with this tree and a rope. And if anything, it's just kind of not in a great spot. I wish I could push it down, but I just don't have enough. Even at this size, this tree is too big for your boy to mess with. I can push it, but I can't push it over, and it's kind of looped over a limb. Yeah, I see what's up. I don't like that. I'm cutting that MFer. That's what's going to happen to this guy. So I'm a little confused that the line's still up in the SWR I think it was 4-to-1. I don't know. We'll check it again, guys. I've taken a lot of care and a lot of time and energy to get these lines to be pretty secure. My first year or two, I had them like guitar strings, and then I learned, I kind of have this inverted V formation for everything. And I had them tight, and they looked beautiful. And then I didn't think, trees happen to move. Even these old oak trees will sway a little bit. Here comes a wind gust again. They tend to move a little bit. And I was snapping my wire like Stevie Ray Vaughan in a solo with tight guitar strings, and that's not what you want to do. So I put window weights on the end so these things can move. You know what I don't want it to be? Yeah, a connector. I don't want it to be a connector. I don't want to do that right now. Winter. It's not even winter, it's fall still. Yeah, I don't want to bring this antenna down to change a connector, but it could be possible. The wind is just whipping through. And that could be it. That could be it. The connector could be bad from the coax feeding the center. It's a balun up there. And that could be the issue because the lines are still up. Usually I'd get a reading like that. I didn't check. I gotta say, I didn't check across the... Woo! I didn't check across the band to see if it was 4 to 1. That would have been a real indicator that it could have been a connector if it was 4 to 1 all the way across the 160 meter band. I just checked center and it was sort of like, like 1900. And 4 to 1's, yeah, 4 to 1's not it. All right, so it's still up there, which is a good thing. It could be a connector. I'm gonna go and I'll test it again and figure it out. But I figured I'd do a little walk and talk with you to see what's going on. One problem I do really have now is this 2 meter 440 antenna. It's a triplexer, and I need to get that fixed. It's whipping back and forth. The MFJ mast that it's on is fine, but at the top, at the U-bolts, the wind probably hit it and shifted it a little bit. I can tell it's moved. It's not like perfectly straight. And sorry, it's cold. I probably should have done a 4-point guying on this. Damn. I should have done, is what I should be saying. And this one right now, I'm back at the 2 meter 440. It's a tri-band antenna. And it's swaying too much for me in my liking. I need to kind of bring it down and shore it up. And if nothing else, I need to get a guy wire on that to the west. Because if this keeps up, it may snap. So that's a bit of a bummer, y'all. That's where we are. Just wanted to do the walk and talk and see what I could share with you. The results of this will have to come at another time. It's the only thing I can really work on at the moment is this 2 meter 440 guy, and I could bring it down at least. Might save it. So that's what we'll do. All right, guys, stay safe. This kind of weather, you never know. It ushers in the cold of winter. And tomorrow is Thanksgiving. You'll hear this later, but tomorrow is Thanksgiving. Just to give you a frame of reference of the time and what's happening in Missouri. I haven't checked the front side of the property for any kind of down limbs, but this is the kind of stuff that brings down gives itself a haircut. All right, guys, stay safe. We'll catch up, and I'll give you the full details when I figure them out. 7-3. All right, guys, this is part 2 here. It's amazing what the wind can do. It actually saved me a little bit of yard work, I think. It has blown the leaves down the hill and into somebody else's yard. That's a good thing. So just to catch us back up, the tri-band antenna, which is a Comet, and about 35 feet up, got a little twisted at the top. It is connected by U-bolts on the smaller end of the mast. It's a telescoping mast from MFJ. And I'm really starting to consider how high I need to have this thing up anyway. I'm not trying to work, contest. It's mostly for emergency situations and to be able to hear what's happening local simplex and on the repeaters. 35 feet may be, that's fine. I'll keep it where it is. But as the wind has come through, it's got me guessing, how high do I really need it? There's a couple of nearby trees. But I did go and work on that a little bit. I brought it down. The wind has died down. It's about 20 mile an hour right now. So it's not quite the 40 to 60 it was last night. They kind of spun it around. So it took the U-bolts and sort of spun it a bit. Anyhow, way out here in the 160 land, we'll go visit my girl, but we got to bring her down. And I'm listening to trees. I'm listening to everything right now. One thing you don't want to do is play around with trees in the wind. At this point, I'm just out here to survey. I need, I think, to fix a connector at the feed line of the 160 antenna. So I've got some rope, and I brought a change and a couple tools to do it. Right now I'm just coming out here the winds. It's supposed to in a couple of hours be nicer, so what'll happen probably is I will just go ahead and go back in the house, put the blanket back on me, and wait. It's too late in the day anyway for 160, but we get those things where we want to get out here and try to fix something as soon as we can. Safety is the most important thing. Just out here looking at the trees. This is a 160. It's not ideal situation at all. I mentioned the 2 meter 440 antenna. It is a tri-band antenna, but my mind is I'm forgetting the other the band, and it's one of those bands that I don't play around on the tri-band antenna. I do the 2 meter side mostly, and I listen to repeaters and listen to the locals. And during the weather incidents like this, it gets busy. It's good to have it. And I'm talking about, I'm not working contests, I'm not working microwaves and towers and that kind of thing. With this, it has a different purpose for me. Same is true with 160. It is not, and probably will never be, as high as it needs to be. We're looking at about 55 feet, and it's in an inverted V. It takes up a lot of space. There's a lot of wire. I've talked about that almost endlessly, how beautiful I think it is. It's a beautiful antenna, but it's out here in the woods, and even under normal conditions, she seems to suffer from issues because things fall down across these lines all the time. Now, my situation here, if I tend to get into this, I'm actually clear of trees overhead if I decide I'm going to bring this down. Bringing it down, though, means I need to take one end of this 80 meter antenna, which is on the same limb. I need to undo that one because that one runs underneath of the 160 end. And so I need to drop down the 80 meter. This is all exciting to me, but it's also effing a little bit cold, and it's damn sure windy. And I'm thinking, do you really want to get involved? But the fact is, I hate having these things that are sort of undone. Again, safety is the key. I'm checking the wind. It seems to have died down a bit from even earlier when I came out. And for sure, the overnight wind is that kind of scary wind that brings down dead wood. And I call those the widowmakers. So right now, we're just debating on how we want to proceed. And so this is part 2 of the installment. I'll probably catch you again in a third piece here, and that will recap what I did do. Right now, there's no way I can work on this and do it and hold you guys at the same time. Although I love to hug you, son of a bitch. It is almost Thanksgiving, and I should say I'm thankful for you for your continued support. We've been at this for several years now together, and you guys are always curious to see what I'm up to and supportive as we put out this audio podcast. I do appreciate you. It's a good time to stop and pause as we go. All right, I think I'm going to do it. I think I'll just bring it down, change this connector, and see if I can get this SWR right. It irks me that it's not. And it seems like we're in a better situation here with wind. And if not, I'll go back in the house, and part 3 of this thing will say, I'll wait it until it was pretty, and then I fixed it, which could be the case. All right, guys, we'll catch up in the third piece of this.
Made in America, shared worldwide. This is 100 watts and a wire.
All right, brothers and sisters, part 3 and the final installment of this impromptu episode. Wasn't planning on recording anything until the first week of December, but you know, some things come up and you just got to do it, so there you go. Well, the sun has come out. I've been doing some work in between these segments. I've changed connectors. There's 3 issues. One is the tri-band antenna, the vertical up there. It seems to be doing okay. What I did was I ended up putting that 4th guy on there, and it's holding okay. You can still hear the wind working. It's much better than it was earlier, and certainly last night. It turns out we had an issue with 160 and moving a branch here, it fell down. 160 and one of my 80 meter antennas. The 80 meter is suspect something's up with that one too. I did change a connector for it. However, there's something going on. This is a double bazooka, and if you've listened to my show over the years, we've talked about the double bazooka being just a great, I love it, but at the feed point in the center, those wires are very delicate. I've tried to look at those and considered building it, and I end up buying one, and I think that there's a possible break there at the centerpiece of the double bazooka. The odd thing is that, and I need to check one of the ends here, it's kind of acting like there's an end down. Let's see, I don't see it. I don't see it being down. We gotta check that. But the really bad news here is that 160 seems to have a major issue at the balun. And I'm starting to lose it. You know, it seems like every other year, I lose a 160. It sucks. I have it up there, and it's a mental thing for me. I don't do so much work on 160 that I'm like heartbroken about it. It's like the principle of this antenna that, I've worked to clear it of trees, but it really is in the woods, and things do fall on it. And I think whatever whipped through here in the 60-mile-an-hour winds last night did something inside the balun. I'm still holding hope, and here's the other part of this: is I was just we were just talking with the Ham Radio 2.0 and the YouTubers on Jason's channel about Black Friday deals. I'm recording this before Thanksgiving, and I'm pretty much ass out of PL 259s and what I need, so I can't even really swap this one out right now, and my hands hurt from this morning's effort. I had to do some chainsawing and pulling up the rope in the wind. Man, it's just sort of a... Now the problem with the 80 meter and this 160, they're both in the same tree on the same limb. They've never had an issue. I'm staring up at... See, man, there's no problems up there. That's the thing. I was thinking I'd come out here and maybe see the end of the 80 meter droopy or sagging or something to give me these numbers. They're not horrible, but they're not true to this antenna and what it was. I'm like 2.8 and up across the 80 meter band, and that's just not consistent with what this antenna is. It's a great double bazooka mono band antenna. It shouldn't be reading that out unless I had dropped an end down and didn't put it back up, that kind of deal. So I'm a bit bummed here, man. I think something came across this tree last night in all this wind. And really, it's not really sagging. That's not sagging. That's not enough to give me a crap reading like I had. That's a bummer. So being that they're both across the same limb and they both had issues this morning, and I saw the 80, I pulled the 80 down. And I could tell that it had been pulled away at the connector. If whatever wind hit this and the one next to it, hit them hard. And I could see, okay, there's a problem. I could also see that the coax is discolored. It's not that beautiful copper inside there. It's also like the, is it threaded? I guess you'd call it a threaded coax. It's 213. It's good stuff, but I noticed that it's discolored. That's probably an issue I need to explore. Same is true for this 160. It had a discolored. And I even cut some back when I went to put on new connectors. I put new connectors on both. Same result. So, I don't know. More testing's going to be needed. The SWR coming across the 160 is up in the 7 range, and it just feels still like it's a connector issue. I need to order more connectors, getting back to what I need. The smalls I talked about on Jason's show. Yeah, I need PL259s for 213, and I have some that I could solder, but as windy as it is, getting out with a field soldering iron is not going to be great. I kind of need some crimps, and I need them now. Like the 80 meter antenna is usable. I could tune it, touch it up. It's just not. There's just something more going on there. There's just something where it's not true. That wind, hopefully it's not killing the recording. The sun finally came out, and it's actually nice. It's not too cold, probably in the 40s at the moment. The antenna is just not what it should be, and so something's wrong. Well, now I've got a dilemma. I really need to think through this 160, and do I want to continue doing this, man? It's been my girl, but it's just like a girl that's up there. It's like a booty call antenna, for God's sakes. It takes up a lot of space. Space that I could open up in my switcher, man, if I decided I wanted to do something else. It's just I like having it, especially in the winter. This time of year, it's great to have it. So, K0STH, a little bummed out today, man, but I know other places got hit harder. Other people are dealing with more loss than what I'm dealing with. Can't really get into the testing of it right now. The weather's not ideal for it. Got some thinking to do, and I need some ordering. I wish there was a place closer. It's going to have to be done online. I know there's a Gateway Electronics, but that's not close to me. I think they moved that out further west, which would be a long haul. And frankly, my hands are hurting. My body is ready to pack it in for this day. A little concerned about the color of the coax, the center conductor. Hopefully I got that right. It's not copper, man. It's like dark. It's not burnt up, but it's got it's copper mixed with some dark smoky look about it. Also, I worry about that double bazooka's legs. Damn. I'll put them up there nice too. They look great up there, and they're probably usable. But 7-something SWR, man, that ain't right. I will check, hopefully tomorrow morning or Friday, I'll check the connectors at the switcher end. I don't see anything there on that side, which is not close to this area. It's a bit of a run. I'll check that. And that's about it. I do have an 80 meter up there that serves more it's inverted, so it's kind of an omnidirectional, but there is a bit of a change in the pattern. And that one has its ends facing east to west. So it serves, and here's a little bit better to the north and south. The one here in question, its ends face north to south. So it serves the broadside east and west. So, man, it's always something. That's the thing about this hobby, is it's always something. I was hoping to get through this weekend without, much drama. What are you going to do? All right, friends, this is a quick one, just snapping it off. I hope you have or had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Stay safe in these crazy conditions. This is the kind of weather that ushers in winter hardcore around here. And a lot of it hit to the south of us, so I know there was others. All right, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. And by all means, if you can, please try and stay above the noise.
To join the 100 Watts in a Wire community, visit 100wattsinawire.com.